Everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, Instagram, all those places that I go live. I'm trying different time slots to see when I can get the most viewers. So far, the 1,000 viewers that have seen come on so far have been between that 4 and 5 time slot. So now I'm checking out the 6 to 7 time slot to see if more people are apt to watch the show now. I am a comic book artist per se. I'm not a professional like the people that actually work at Marvel and get regular gigs of that nature. But we are aspiring to become that, get on some cover work for Marvel, DC, all that good stuff. Let's see. Vampirella Strikes is on the cover, is on the table right now. Yes, I've completely repainted this entire cover so that I can get a nice feel on this cover instead of the stock that was there. The stock was nice, and it would have taken pencil well and ink, but we're probably going to end up painting this whole cover. So, I've got a Street Fighter that's a little not safe for work, if you will. Plus a bunch of others that are here right now. Two of my more recent covers right here. Spider Gwen, or Gwen Stacy, the Ghost Spider right here, and Swamp Thing on the House of Mystery right there. Now both of these are available. You can hit me up in my DMs if you are interested. Show you guys up here. Bum bum bum. We actually thought we were going to have the Spider Gwen already sold, but someone is taking their own sweet little time on deciding if they really want it or not, which is sad. And you see behind me, I don't have my normal logo of my 412 Productions like everybody else has up here. I've got my remark on the giant Venom box. It's not one of these boxes right here. It is the massive 12-inch size. So this is the bigger one. So you can see what I can do on pop boxes and regular boxes and things like that. So, as you see on my title, it's raining, it's pouring, you know the rest. It's been pouring for most of the night, and I'm hoping that our baby goats are doing okay. I haven't gone out to check on them yet. I will once the sun comes up. It is warmer outside than it has been for them, so that's awesome. It hasn't been down in the 20s. It's actually in the 50s right now with this warm rain coming in. It's feeling like spring out there, even though we still have some months to go before, you get that last freeze in April, sometimes in May. But hopefully it's an earlier spring this year, especially with our baby animals happening on the homestead. The artwork is happening. I'm going to pop up my not safe for work right here. Street Fighter with Chun-Li on the cover. If you're interested in her, pick her up. Tell me, hey, I want that, and I will shoot you the price for her. Lots of cool stuff is happening. Lots of cool stuff is going down the pike, if you will. That's an old term for some of you youngins out there. But lots of cool stuff is happening around here. You got Valentine's Day right around the corner. You got all kinds of things happening in the world, which if you want to know it, go do your research on that. I'm not going to be your news source for the stuff going on out there in the world. There are a lot of reliable sources to get your newsworthy information from. Don't just rely on what you see here on TikTok. Don't just rely on what you see on Facebook, because people have their biased opinions on everything. Just like I do, because Uncanny X-Men is the best comic book series in the entire world. The 1963 run. Not the new crap they're putting out now, but the new run. I do have some of the new crap now because it is, special variant covers and things of that nature. Again, there's no AI artwork done here. So if you are an AI person and you love what AI generates, you can kick rocks. See you, bye. We do not do AI generated artwork here. In fact, this is a sign that I have whenever I am, come on, there we go, at my shows. This sits on the back burner back there, and let me see if I can get it for you. Right there. It says all hand-drawn original artwork at this booth. Okay? It says no AI generated works here. Keep the artwork pure and real. Not or no to AI generated images. If this offends you, keep moving. Nothing to see here. So there you go. Bum, bum, bum. This I have that at my table. I have it behind me so that everybody can see it. Because unfortunately there are a lot of AI generated artworks being sold at comic book conventions anymore. And they claim it to be their own work. I'll just leave it at that. Between V8 Energy, the pure energy, not monsters, not any shit like that, not Ghost, not Bang, not Red Bull, none of that nasty shit. And Brisk, you guys need to sponsor me. Seriously, you guys need to sponsor me. What do I have to do? Do I have to contact you directly? I probably will. But anyway. So comic book covers are getting worked on left and right here. Again, Uncanny X-Men 1963 is my all-time favorite comic book series ever. The one that I collect the most. The one that I refer to any ideas I get from John Byrne to Jim Lee to Mark Silvestri to... I mean, the list of people that have worked on the Uncanny X-Men from the 1963 series is phenomenal. And so, you know, that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from. That's where I got a lot of that's where my own comic book is coming from, basically. It's not a superhero book per se. It is a mythological book. But it is a 4-issue miniseries. And Marvel, especially with their X-Men characters, made the 4-issue miniseries popular. Okay? And so that is where my inspiration for my comic book came from for a 4-issue miniseries. I didn't want to go over the top. Yes, there's going to be 16 covers. Actually, more than that. Because there's four covers per book once I get it up and running. So yeah, the whole 4-issue miniseries came to light from what Marvel used to do back in the 80s and early 90s. Whenever they would take a specific character and spin it off into its own book, so that way you got more information about that character, more so than you did in the whole continuity of the team group of the Uncanny X-Men. So you had Colossus had its own spinoff. You had Nightcrawler had its own spinoff. Longshot, Wolverine. I mean, you had Jean Grey. You had Scott Summers. I mean, Cyclops. You know, those type of things. So all of these different ones had all these spinoffs, and I used to have them all. You know, as an avid collector back I started late in the 90s, probably around 94 is probably when I started collecting for the first time. And I went to my first comic book convention in 1996, and it just flourished from there because the creativity on the table, just as you would flip it open, it was so much more pure than what the stuff is being produced now. Now it feels like it's just a rush job, in my opinion, and they charge you a lot more for it. Just like I showed you on this one, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. This is a $7 comic book. Why is this a $7 comic book? Just because it's glossy pages? Just because there's a lot of pages in here that they aren't even numbered, so I can't even give you a count without sitting here and counting each page? Why is this a $7 comic book? Because they want to charge $7? Yeah, that's basically the only reason why it's a $7 comic book. And then you've got the $6 comic books, you got the $5 comic books, you got the $4 comic books. My comic book, I'm hoping I can keep it at a low cost to you. I'm pointing out both places here. just because I want it in more readers' hands. And I know a lot of people can't just. Can we see your original Spider-Man? Um, if I knew where it was, very possible. I don't have one sitting around here right this second. Um, but you can go. I'm trying to think if I even have one on my website. I've got my Venom here, which is obviously obvious right behind me. But as far as my original Spider-Man, I'll work on that. I have not done a Spider-Man in a while, so I need to get to it. Because my next one, I mean, I've got the Spider-Gwen right here, the Ghost Spider. So that's about as close to Spider-Man as I've got as an original going on right now. And but I do appreciate that, and I will get back to that. So can't show that one just because it's a special thing. But I'm getting ready to work on Spawn as well. This is the reprint of the #1 cover. I don't know exactly how many years later, but this was originally done back in 1980. So this is 30 years as of 2022, when the first book came out in 1992. And then this is their 329 cover right there. And I'm going to be working on both of those here later on. But yeah, I'll get on that Spider-Man. I appreciate that. I've got a Batman that I'm going to be working on. I got a whole bunch in these comic boxes next to me, which you guys can't see because they're right here. Everybody else on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff can see the comic book covers, or the comic books boxes sitting right next to me as I slap them, and you can hear that slap right there. But again, these are two of the covers that I've finished recently. Right here, Swamp Thing, after Wrightson is what it says, because he was the master. And this was originally his pose, but I redid a pose, and this glows under black light. So this one glows under black light. So get it from me. People are getting nice badges right here, so that's pretty awesome. Hello, Butter. Welcome to the show. But we talk about everything here. I try to keep politics out of everything here, just because there's a platform for that. A lot of people already have that covered, and I don't like talking politics anyway, because that's boring. I mean, it is relevant to today's society, but, you know, it doesn't affect me 100% directly. I mean, it affects everybody. But, you know, I'd rather do some other things and talk about cool stuff like comic book and homesteading, and since that's what I do illustrations, I do comic book work, I do homestead, which I've got baby goats that are here, I've got pig, I've got 2 ducks, I've got chickens with roosters. I mean, all kinds of cool stuff. Thanks for the likes, for the shares. Please share this out to your friends and family, so that they can come over here and enjoy the topics of comic book related items. But again, like if you were just here just a minute ago, you see that I do not do AI generated artwork here. That is against my religion. No AI generated artwork here, all hand drawn artwork. I could pick up one of my portfolios that's laying back over here behind me and just flip through it, you know, and you can see all the stuff. And I'm going to revisit some of the ones that are actually back there, just because they need some background. They need some filler in behind them, because what I did, you know, was do something quick for different shows that I was going to, from when they were created. And so I just did a quick simple character in the middle of the page. I didn't add any background or anything like that. So I'm going to revisit a lot of these. And freaking hairs. And revisit those and add some background in them as well. I think they'll sell a little bit better than they would with just a plain white background. But 1963 Uncanny X-Men, which started out as just X-Men, by the way. They didn't change their name until they got the new group later on in the way. But That was always a fascinating read. I've got the very first one I ever read encapsulated back here. If you don't know what encapsulated means, that means it is a graded copy. It is a 9.6. It's not worth that much just because of the issue that it was, but it's something special to me just because, that was the very first comic book that got me interested into comic books, actually. And it was the whole battle scene between Colossus and the Juggernaut. The story goes that Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Peter at the time, not Colossus, not in his metal form, go to a bar just to blow off some steam, just to be normal guys for the night. They're not doing any superhero related stuff. They're drinking at the bar. Yes, alcohol was involved. Oh my goodness. And so they're chilling at the bar, drinking. All of a sudden, in walks Juggernaut. Well, a fight ensues between Colossus and Juggernaut because Peter transforms into Colossus, a metal being. And they get into it. And Nightcrawler's wanting to jump in and help Peter, or Colossus. And Wolverine's like, pump the brakes, buddy. They're grown adults. They can duke this out. But if it does get to the point where it looks like one side or the other is going to try and take out the other side, we'll step in. We'll take care of it. We'll help. Well, as it rolls along, Juggernaut, the mightier force, begins to take over the fight. Well, that's when Wolverine, Logan, steps in and says, done. He's holding his claws out. He's standing on the bar because, in reality, Wolverine's only 5'5", 5'2", somewhere in that range. He's a small dude. He's Canadian. And so he's standing up on the bar top, looking Kane in the eyes, or Juggernaut. And he's like, end of story. Fight's over. You guys have taken your licks. It's time for you to take a hike, or it's going to get worse, And so Kane takes a hint and leaves the bar. Wolverine, Logan throws money on the bar table for all the damages that was caused by the two. And they all leave, and then next episode of the comic, they're all back into action fighting as superheroes. So this was just a hey, this is us being real humans for the most part. And that captivated me as a kid, of a kid of about 8 or 9 years old. And I really hadn't gotten into a whole lot of comics. I was drawing stuff from the age of 5 that I can remember. And it wasn't superhero related stuff. It was stuff that I saw on a regular basis. Cars, animals, nature scenes, things of that nature. No pun intended. But, I wasn't drawing heavily into superheroes type stuff or the cartoons that I was seeing on a regular basis as a kid. And Saturday morning cartoons, fantabulous, as opposed to some of the shit they produce today. Because it was cool stuff back then, especially in the 80s, and the late 70s when I grew up and started really paying attention, if you will. You had the Hanna-Barbera Hour. You had, your Bugs Bunny and Daffy Ducks, and the list goes on and on of the characters out there. But things have changed so much that it's just like some of the stuff I don't even feel is appropriate for people to watch anymore, But now you've got your anime and manga and things of that nature, and you've got your not safe for work side of that as well, which is kind of what my Street Fighter is like. It is definitely not safe for work. And if you're offended by this, I apologize. This is some of the stuff that I draw. But mainly the stuff that I draw is right there. I'm hiding, but you guys up there on YouTube and Facebook get to see nothing that I'm showing them on TikTok. Um, but that's the type of stuff that I draw more often than this other stuff that you're getting to see, because I like the hero aspect of things. Now, let's take some of my least favorite characters that I technically have only drawn one time. Superman, one of my least favorite characters. This guy right here. I could care less about him. And a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're not American." Well, neither is he. Okay, okay. Captain America represents the American dream. Not one of my favorite characters, especially in the Marvel realm. My Marvel realm deals with a diverse group of characters from a diverse background. You've got Nova Scotia, you've got Russia, you've got American, you've got Africa, you've got the list goes on and on of the main characters in the Uncanny X-Men of the 1963 series. So it wasn't just a group of Americans, okay? You had a whole group, a diverse group of marginalized characters from different regions of the world that were drawn together under one cause, and that was fighting evil. I mean, for the most part, even though the world felt like the mutants were evil themselves. Okay, you can put that in today's politics if you wanted to. But now on the DC side, boop, let's take these two characters out. This is my favorite character on the DC side, Batman, a human who just has more strength than most people, uses his brain. Yes, he's got a ton of money. He's a billionaire philanthropist, if you will. And stumble over my words, shall I? And this has always been, Batman has always been my favorite DC character. Just because he's a normal guy, you know, who has trained a lot, who uses his brain more than most people around him. That's why he is dubbed the world's greatest detective, above Sherlock Holmes, you know. Although he would probably say that Sherlock Holmes is probably better than him in some aspects, even though it was a made-up character. What? Sherlock Holmes was made up? What? Batman was made up? Oh, the things that this world does to our brains sometimes. V8 Energy, I need your sponsorship. Because I drink you a lot. But with everything, I just love to have fun. That's the main theme that I carry into my projects. If I'm not having fun with it, what the fuck am I doing? I mean, if I can't have fun with the stuff that I'm drawing or creating into life and existence, why am I doing it? If I'm not seeing a smile on somebody's face whenever I hand them that print or hand them the original, say someone were to buy this and they were to hold it up and they're sitting here like this, yeah, I bought it. Okay. Now it's going to sit in a box. That's not the look I want on somebody's face. I want them to be like, holy shit, dude. This is phenomenal. And it looks killer under black light whenever I presented it that way. I keep a black light on it. And whenever I turn off the lights, boom, it's glowing. It's glowing in the dark. That's the reactions I want. And that's what I get from most people. Whenever I sit and talk to them at the comic book conventions, it's all, you know, they're complimentary on the artwork that they are receiving. And then they're even surprised that I'm signing it, I'm autographing it. They're like, how much does that charge? And I'm like, nothing. You bought the print. I will autograph the print. That's why there is no autograph on the print, period, whenever you buy it in the first place. Because even if the original piece has a signature on it, whenever I take it into Photoshop and enhance some colors and fix some things here and there, I wipe out the autograph so that it can be signed in your presence at no fee because you bought the print, you know. So I don't see the point in charging for a COA. I don't see the point in charging for an autograph. You just bought the work for me. The least I can do for you is sign it, you know. Yes, I created the work a long time ago or a few days ago or whatever it was, but you still get the luxury of watching me autograph your piece of artwork that you're going to be hanging on your wall. So, and a lot of people just don't understand that, and they want to charge people so much extra for certain things. And as an artist, I just don't understand that. Yes, I want to make money for myself as well. My comic book covers, the blank covers that I work on, I think they're relatively cheap, you know. But as far as some other people that I see selling their covers, their blank sketch covers for $160 to $200. Now, if the work is justified and it is someone that's out in the world as a respected professional artist, okay, I can see that. But if you're just a guy like me who does this, yes, it's my livelihood. But I don't see the point in charging $150 to $200 for a cover out there when I can, you know, keep it at a relative base and sell more, you know. Because how often or not does that person that is selling theirs for those prices, in my shoes, does it sit at your house before you actually sell it? Because at what point in time do you take a hit on your price and sell it for a reasonable price that somebody's like, okay, that I can do. This monstrosity of a box behind me that you guys can't see, but you can kind of see it. Let me point to it here if I can. Wrong way. I got to point two different ways. There we go. Right there, because I've got my Venom painting up here on the YouTube and Facebook channel. And then right behind me, I've got the TikTok view, which this massive box, like I said, it's about yay tall. It's massive, 12-inch box. That's $175. You know, and I think that's pretty reasonable because it's an awesome piece. And if you want to go see it, I don't have it on my website, but if you want to go see my website, right up here, and be sure to like, share, and throw this out to your following, because I'm trying to get my following up as well. And I think I'm close to 3,200 people. I'm not 100% sure on that right off the top of my head. I looked at it, but I'm talking about other cool stuff than that. But I would like to get my viewership up, just like I would like to get my viewership up on YouTube. My following, my subscriptions. You're not paying anything for a subscription on YouTube. You're just going over there, clicking the little button, and being like, boop, now you're following this person. You're subscribed to this channel. Because everything you see here, I post on YouTube later in the day. I've got one that's kind of hung up in translation right now. For whatever reason, it's just at 83%, and it won't go past that right now. And that was yesterday's video. So it's a little bit behind right there. And I'm also trying to figure out why my recording is so freaking slow over here on OBS. OBS, if you don't know what that is an open broadcasting service system, whatever you want to call it. And it is a free service. There's 31 iterations of it. I'm using the 31st iteration 0.0.1, which means they've done one update to it since the 31st iteration at 0.0. And so for some reason the recording is super slow. It's lagging, if you will. Unlike right here, 4K, ultra high video, all that good stuff. On TikTok, but up here it's kind of slow and draggy, and I haven't technically watched a show that I do over here just because I just flow, and I, you know, am just super duper excited to talk to all you people out there, and just because it's fun. That's why I like going to comic book conventions. Is because I can talk to a wide variety of people from every demographic and walk of life, from a millionaire to someone that only had enough money to get into the show and get the items that they wanted from specific people, you know. But my price range hits everybody. I don't have just, well, here's $700 piece. That's all I got. Sorry. Which some people will purchase that. But your average person is looking for that $30 item up to $100 item. Now, with that being said, have I sold originals at shows? Of course I have. And my originals start at $250. Okay? And but that's on my 11 by 15 size. Now my 9 by 12s, those are $100 start. And, you know, I sell those on a regular basis too. So I put a question out there for people on my Facebook. So if you're following me, again, go up here, hit my page, my website, and it will take you to all my socials underneath my 412 Productions alien logo. The Art of Monty Anderson has all my socials directly under that on the front top page. I put a question out there about OnlyFans. Not very many people responded to that question, but one person did, and they were also wondering about OnlyFans themselves as well. Because I got to looking into OnlyFans, and yes, most people relate to OnlyFans as the SW site for everybody. And just because that's where most SW workers go to sell their product. Now, OnlyFans also has other aspects to it. Oh my goodness, it doesn't just have the SW stuff out there? No. OnlyFans also has workout stuff. They have food videos. They have or platforms. You know, all this different stuff. So the question I popped out there was, if you are an artist, do you use OnlyFans to sell your artwork on? And then one person commented, said it's kind of like Patreon, and they were wondering the same thing, but it would be more suited to this type of work right here to go on there, and the portfolio that I cannot show here just because there are swinging floppies, you know, on this artwork, and there's bloobs out there, and there's, you know, kitty cats running around, those type things. So I could post that stuff on there, and it'd be okay. Now, on that side too, there's tiers. You got your low end tier, you've got your middle tier, you've got your high end tier, and then you've got your super high tier. Or however you want to base your tiers out, and not the crying tiers. Just because, you know, that's how these people make their money on there, is to, sorry folks, I split my finger open the other day. And so each tier gets you something different. Okay. So the first tier would be, for me, on OnlyFans, would be to bring in a print. Okay. You sign up to this tier, and that's everybody that signs up to the tier, the like $4 tier or whatever it is. Well, you get this print, a 9 by 12 print or 11 by 17 print of whatever characters I have available in that tier. And I'd probably do, you know, like 4 different things in that. You select one of those 4. Second tier, you would get the print, one of those 4 prints, plus another print in that tier, and that would be it. So you got a 1 tier, a 2 tier, and then starting in your 3rd tier, you would get a print of your choice of those 4, a specialty print, a canvas print, And then that would be it on that. So you would get a specialty print. And then as it goes further, you would be able to get an original drawn up piece from me on a sketch cover or a 11 by 15 original, those type things. But yes, the tier price would go up as you look at it, just like it does for anybody that's on OnlyFans. I don't frequent OnlyFans, not unfortunately, but it's just not something that I do. I got that here at home, so I don't need that. So, is it worth it? Is what I'm trying to ask. Is it worth it for me to do not safe for work, stuff over there on OnlyFans, plus the normal stuff, not just the sexy stuff, but because women clothes can be sexy too. Not can be, they are. And the whole body shaming thing, I just don't understand, because everyone's beautiful in their own right. Okay. I mean, people would look at me and be like, "Oh my God, you're horrible," those type things. But I don't care. That if you want to point your fingers at me, go for it. Do it. I don't care. I've had people come on my TikTok that are like, "Who the fuck are you? What do you do? What do you contribute?" All that good stuff, and it's just like, dude, I don't know who pissed in your post toasties this morning, but I'm here to spread a little cheer and talk comic books and movies and all kinds of different things. And you can go kick rocks. You can get off my channel. But no, I've had some strange comments come in, being on these platforms. It is quite humorous sometimes. But please share this out to your friends. I'm trying to get more followers up over here, and I will get a TikTok shop up and running eventually. That has stuff that pertains to me per se, like art supplies and collectibles and things like that. Because those of you on TikTok, unfortunately, don't get to see the stuff behind me like everybody else does on the YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Because directly behind me, and I guess I could turn the green screen off, but I don't want to. Because it's my show. You've got original artwork on the back wall behind me in my office. And a lot of those are from the 90s. Okay. And it is, all of that was free. Except there's a few things back there that weren't free. I've got an original James O'Barr. Who's James O'Barr, you ask? He's the creator of one of the most fantastical worlds in comic book realm, and that's where it started, was comic books. It is James O'Barr's The Crow. Yes, the Brandon Lee fan favorite, not the crap that was put out in 2024 or 2023 that for me it was trash. It was decent, okay, as far as what they call a reimagining of The Crow. But basically they tried to reboot The Crow with using the exact same names of Eric Draven and his fiancée. Which, had they chose different names, I would have no issues with the movie, period. Because if you look at the Crow comic books, it started with the original with Eric Draven, all that good stuff. The next ones thereafter took a different person in the same type of situation, killed wrongly, died too early, whatever, comes back a year later to avenge the death of themselves or their loved ones. City of Angels, him and his son's death. He comes back to, take vengeance on the people that did that. But it was a different character. They did not need to use Eric and Shelley in this new one. Pick you two fucking different names. There's trillions of names out there in the world you could have used. But no, let's use Eric and Shelley. Ah, no. um, but I have an original James O'Barr behind me. It's not of the Crow. It's of one of his cleaner versions of a dancer, basically. And she's seated on the floor. She's got her ballet outfit on, and it was just a cool piece when I saw it. Um, and I got it off of eBay, and I chit chatted with James O'Barr, who I had met in '96 at Dallas Fantasy Fair. Um, it was either '96 or '98, one of the two. But I bought this years later off of eBay from him, and we chit chatted back and forth. I mean, he even put a hand signed note in this uh, auction winning, for me as well. That he said not very many people are into the good girl art, so I appreciate you for picking this up. And for an artist to do that is unheard of now, because they are in it for the money. And I get it, being an artist myself. I want money too, because that's what keeps my lights on. That's what keeps my water running. That's what keeps my internet. So you guys can see my ugly mug, you know. Um, and but to charge $20 for an autograph, that's a little much. But some people are charging, $80 for an autograph, you know, and it's just like, you are technically getting paid to be here. Your hotel room's paid for, your flight was paid for, your food is probably paid for. Why are you charging so much? You're getting royalties from all the work that you've done, but yet you're still charging 20 to $80 for an autograph, for one autograph on one item. It just makes no sense to me sometimes. But I see it with newer people as well, um, that are claiming their fame uh, out there, and it just makes no sense to me for the the creators out there that are charging so much. I mean, I'm hoping they're selling. I'm hoping they're selling their stuff, and you know, taxes are coming in for people, and so people are, a lot of people are putting their taxes towards uh, different things, artwork included. So I am looking for a windfall from people like you. My taxes aren't shit this year. Um, since I don't have a 9 to 5 job anymore, and I don't pull in a W-2, artwork, homesteading, and my DAV is where my money comes from. Um, and so, even writing off stuff for this year, it shows I took a loss in my business, because you've got to take into account all of your upkeep on your vehicles. You got to take care of all your upkeep on your computers and your printers, and taking them into shops to get them serviced, and you're buying supplies constantly. So um, all of this little stuff helps as you go out into the world with it. All this extra money that comes in from Meta or TikTok, or people leaving you tips, um, which you can do. You can go to my PayPal, and you can leave a tip there. You can send me money on Cash App, so on and so forth. But all that stuff just goes right back into the business. It goes back into supplies. It goes back into electricity. It goes back into, internet, water, everything that keeps me bringing the joy to someone's face. Um, and that's what it's all about. It's not about me just selling to sell, because I want there to be that that happiness, that big grin on somebody's face whenever they pick up this comic from me, or if I send it off to another shop and they buy it there, I want that happiness because they're going to go put this under a black light and just check it out 100%. And it does look killer under black light. If you haven't seen the video on anywhere, go check it out. I have a lot of things that do that, like not this one here, but the one over here. I'll get the pointing right. For that one, it glows under black light, and that's the Venom, the painting that I've got. It glows under black light. It looks killer. And once you charge it under black light, it'll glow for a while. So it's awesome, and people love those things. I know a lot of there's a I can't remember their exact name right off the top of my head, but they do nothing but black light artwork, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal work. And if they watch this later on, Kruger, Lacey, see, I can't. My brain's dead right now. I hope they do see it and know that I'm talking about their artwork because it's phenomenal. They do a ton of blacklight artwork. And is it better than mine? Of course it is, because that's all they do is blacklight artwork. Me, I throw a little blacklight in on occasion of certain things. But let me show you some of this stuff. These are all spoken for. This is the Art of Art piece right here. It is on a blade right here. But it is a detachable piece. So if you need to use it as a weapon later on, you can. It's sealed. You're not going to rub the product off. But this one is spoken for. The other one's already at its home, which I haven't. Tristan, I need to talk to you, buddy. You didn't say anything about this. But right here, this is on, right here. I do have another one running around here somewhere, right back there. That is that I turned into a clock. This one is not it. This is another saw blade piece. No pun intended. I want to play a game. Right here, Billy the Puppet from Saw. The other one is, as a matter of fact, there's your metal. The other one, as a matter of fact, has been turned into a clock. So it is available. Oh, technically, both of the Billies are available. So if you're into Saw and you love Saw movies, boom, pick this up. A relatively, again, cheap price, in my opinion, for a piece like this. Again, the clock is very cool. It's sitting farther back. I'm not going to get up and go get it, unfortunately. But I'm having fun with art again. And that was the whole reason for revamping my name. From AGK to 412 Productions, which was Anderson Graphics Kingdom was my original name. But now we are 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. And things have picked up tremendously as far as sales have gone. Within the first month, I've had more sales than I did the first month of last year. And it is phenomenal to see that happen. To see something so slight as a name change pick up, in business terms. So, it is great. And I love it. Because sometimes whenever people see a name and they associate it with a person, they think about any rumor mills that they've heard about that person. And they're like, oh, well, that's this person, so I can't, and you shouldn't be, buying stuff from that person either. Let's take Mr. Beast, for example. I don't know why you'd want to be buying any of his stuff from his reputation now. Just because, that's me saying it. Go do your research. Go look up Mr. Beast and his allegations. And that's not me trying to tarnish him. That's just me saying, why would somebody still support that franchise if those allegations against him are true, you know. And I've done my research on it. Girlfriend's done her research on it. This seems to be legit. So, but this is a world of he said, she said as well. So, you know, until you have all the facts, you can choose who you support and who you don't support. And it's just like, I don't understand why more people don't support people like me that we're the little person on the totem pole. But yet you'd rather go buy some Louis Vuittons instead of supporting a small business friend. And I don't consider myself small business just because I've got artwork around the world. Okay. And I've sold to, like I said, people that are millionaires. And I've sold to people that only bought a $2 item from my table. A pin or a button or a card. You know, one of my print cards. And I appreciate the shares going out. I do that does help the channel. That gets more viewership in here to watch my mug. I am no angel. If you've seen any of my artwork, I'm no angel. If you've heard my mouth, I'm no angel. But it is fun. I try to have fun with it all, and I try to interact with everybody that you know, comes on here and talks to me on my posts, because I try to answer all the stuff that I see come through here. And I do that whole little swipey thing just to go back and see, you know, if there's anything that I possibly missed. And it is very possible that I missed something. And I apologize for that, because I don't have my TikTok up on a big screen. I've got it on my phone. Even though I can still read it from back here, I still miss some things because I look at this other screen over here to talk to the people over here on Facebook and YouTube and those type things. So I will miss something from time to time because a lot of people are joining and it's flying by and all that good stuff. And here in a little bit, I'm going to have to swipe the little puzzle piece for some stupid reason. I'm just waiting to see if it pops up on that word, because it's done it before. And I thought that was a whole trigger word for it to pop up that little puzzle piece. But I guess it's when you get close to an hour or something, you have to do that little swipey thing with the puzzle piece. It's the stupidest thing in the world. So if you ever go live and you get close to an hour on your show, you do have to do this little swipey thing with the... man, maybe not everybody has to do it. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I don't know. If you have to swipe on your live and you see that little puzzle piece, let me know. I want to know why they do it. I haven't even looked it up to see why that happens. But we're 50 minutes in. We're under a flood watch. It's been pouring down rain, just like my title says. It's raining, it's pouring, you know the rest. The old man is snoring, if you don't know the rest. Went to bed, bumped his head, didn't get up in the morning. All that good stuff. Basically, it's a death song, okay? morbid songs that people came up with. Ring Around the Rosie, London Bridge. I mean, all these songs that we sang as kids were all morbid death songs, okay? And a lot of people don't know those songs now because they don't sing them anymore. They don't have a fun childhood like we had. Our fucking morbid sing-along songs. We're twisted, let me tell you. My generation, we are twisted. A lot of things don't bother us anymore. Including some of the stuff that goes on in today's society. It just doesn't affect us like it does some people out there. And yeah, we have our opinions, and if you want to know them, you can ask them. But a lot of things just don't bother us anymore. I've been through 2 heart attacks. I've been shot at. I've been IED'd. Yes, I was in the military. Combat veteran. So I'm a little more twisted than most. But that's okay. That's why my artwork is fun. Some of it is twisted artwork. And I'm looking to get into more Twisted artwork. But I am looking forward to getting my comic book out there into the world. And I am 18 pages in on book 1. I'm going super slow with it for whatever reason. Because everything's coming from here and being projected onto that Microsoft Word. Yeah, I know I should probably be using something else, blah, 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 but that's what I'm using. And I don't mind, because I'm not a writer. Okay, let's just put it that way. I'm not a big writer. I have thought about writing some books here lately, stories of my life, if you will, especially the more spooky aspects of my life. When I was a kid, I saw a demon. Okay. And ever since that point, I'm going to say I've had stuff attached to me. Okay. Because pretty much any house that I've ever been in, or any situation that I've ever been in, I see things. I see shadow figures. I see movements. I see orbs. I see, the list goes on and on. But seeing the demon as a child can be scary enough. But yeah, it scared me back then. But if I were to see one today, okay, let's go. Let's roll. Just because I've seen so much when it comes to the paranormal side of things. Cryptids as well. I've seen UFOs. I've seen Bigfoot. A lot of people are like, yeah, right, whatever. Push that under the rug. Don't talk about it. No, I'm going to talk about it. Just because I know what I've seen. And it needs to be talked about. Because more people out there have seen this stuff too. They just don't want to come forward and talk about it because, it makes you look like a crazy person talking about a Bigfoot running through the woods. Or a UFO that took off really fast. And I've seen plenty of UFOs. But the most stuff that I see, again, is shadow figures. They come out of the corner of your eye. I've literally seen apparitions standing in my backyard. Sam, what are you talking about? I'm talking about all kinds of stuff here. I'm an illustrator. I'm a homesteader. I am into paranormal. I am into Bigfoot. I am into life reality, Sam. All kinds of different things. That's what this channel is about. It's about having fun, showcasing my artwork, which you see directly behind me, talking about everything under the sun. And not politics. We're not talking politics. Because politics gets under everybody's skin and makes them crazy for whatever reason. So, there you go, Sam. And so, with my comic book that I'm getting ready to be working more into, that's what we were talking about, Sam, when you probably came on. But then I got off into the paranormal realm and the cryptid realm. But that's what's going to be in my book. There's going to be paranormal in there. There's going to be cryptids in there. There's going to be fairies and goblins and all kinds of other mythological creatures that people think don't exist. But if they didn't exist, why are there so many depictions of them out there in the world? Because people were crazy. That's what a lot of people think. Oh, you saw this? Well, you must be nuts. You need to be on medication. Lo and behold, I am. But I still see them. I have poltergeist activity here in my house. There's things that defy reality because it shouldn't happen in my house. Things fly off the shelf, and they shouldn't, because I can jump up and down on that section. I can hit the wall, and nothing happens. Nothing moves. But for something to just fly off a shelf, land from this point, and then land on the ground on its base, it should have landed flat or upside down or on its side or something, but not directly on the right side up. In the bedroom, one of my girlfriend's action figures that's in the case flipped directly upside down and landed in between the two figures that it was sitting on. Just like this. There's no way it should do that. If something's up here and it falls, it should fall this way. It should not do this. and land in between the two, because there's no possible way for that to happen. So all kinds of different things have happened. I've had a picture fly off in the office while I'm drawing, and there's nothing on the other side of the wall because I have a window right there, so I can see if anybody's on the other side of the wall pounding on it. Let's see, I've had that picture fly off. I've had stuff fly off of this wall over here. So yeah, it happens all the time. I'm surprised my pendulum back there isn't rotating. You know, like you hold and they say it goes this way for yes, this way for no, those type things. I'm surprised that thing's not taking off back there. But I've seen so many different things in my life that are unexplained that they're real to me. They might not be real to you out there because you might not have seen them. But, you know, maybe we will do a whole talk on the paranormal one of these days. Maybe we'll do it. What is today? The 30th? Today's the one day before the last day of the month. And maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. And maybe I'll come on at the 4 to 5 o'clock hour, because I seem to get more viewership then. I get more people talking on my show. But if you don't know who I am, go check it out. Go check out the channel. Yes, you'll see homestead stuff. You'll see goats. You'll see chickens. You'll see pigs. You'll see artwork as well. And that's what this channel is about. Sorry, there was a heavy thud that just happened. I don't think it was a car going by because I didn't see any headlights. Yes, my window's right in front of me. But that's, again, one of those situations that there's always heavy thuds and banging and shit like that happens here at my house. And it always gets you saying, huh, what was that? And then you go look and it was nothing and you can't find it. And it was just your poltergeist banging on a wall or the floor or whatever. But that sounds like the pig. Yep, that is the pig. So the pig probably knocked over a stool in the front room. So see, debunked. But I appreciate each and every one of you being here, chit-chatting back and forth. And as I like to say, as I kill my show, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.